Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and spending some of your day with me. Guys, today I have been wanting to do this video for a long time now. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but the number one comment that I get on my YouTube videos, by far, nothing is even second close, is how people do not like bass tournaments. How many people out there hate bass tournaments and think they're the biggest problem in the sport. So I want to address this, guys. I want to dig into this in today's video and talk about this attitude that people have about tournaments and how we came to this attitude and what we can do moving forward to help the entire situation surrounding it. So we're going to dig into that in today's video. And I definitely, guys, shoot me a comment. I want to hear what you guys think about this, because I want to get a dialogue started in the comment section to really get a feel for what, just tell me what you think about it, because we're going to dig into that in today's video here. Also, guys, for get started, thank you very much for everybody that's taken time to subscribe here at Intuitive Angling. Man, if you hit that subscribe button, and especially if you hit the like button on the videos and comment on the videos and share the videos, a really good way to push the channel out and help it more. And real quick reminder, guys, is today Tackle Warehouse started their Black Friday sale for the next, I think, 3 weeks now. So if you guys are wanting to get a bunch of good deals on tackle, they got a bunch of like 15 to 25% off on a bunch of stuff on the entire Tackle Warehouse website. So I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description here. If you guys would like to use and bookmark that link, it's a good way to help the channel, as the channel gets like a small percentage of a commission if you buy anything using that link of mine. So big thank you from me and my family if you're doing that. Okay. Number one comment, guys, I hear this all the time. Tournaments suck. Tournaments are the problem. Tournaments are the reason, or, fishing sucks. Tournaments are the reason, that so many fish are being killed. I hear all of it. And me coming from this, I have been a tournament fisher my whole life. And I'll be honest with you guys, I have a love-hate relationship with tournament angling. It's like, it's always been like that. I love the competition that comes with tournaments. I do. It's like, tournament fishing, the greatest thing about it, and why I still do it and why I really like it, is it pushes you as an angler to get better. It pushes you in a way that you'll never experience in regular fishing. And not to say that everybody, that's their focus, to get better as an angler, because some people just like to go out there and just have a good time, and it's like, if they catch them, fine. If they don't. But as a tournament angler, the growth that you have as a tournament angler is accelerated by the competition, because you're more focused, you're more present, there's more of an urgency to learn about fishing. So from that standpoint, tournament fishing is responsible for me being able to do these videos here and share all this knowledge that I have about fishing is come through tournaments. But on the other hand, I hate tournaments. I hate a lot of the stuff I hate about it. The whole politics behind it, what it's become with technology, the boneheaded moves the tournaments, the organizations make, the pressure and the exploitation of the fisheries. There's a lot of different things I don't like about it, but I don't want to make this about me. I want to talk about the viewers, what they think about it. Okay, there's a couple different things with this. Is the two primary things that most of the viewers talk about is the fact that they think that tournament anglers are sort of entitled and they think they own the lake. Obviously, there's, just the sheer amount of boats out there is irritating if you're not a tournament angler. And the other aspect of it is tournament fishing kills a lot of fish through delayed mortality. Both of those things are true. Now, here, it hasn't always been like this. This attitude about bass tournaments has not always been as vitriolic as it is right now, because, guys, the last 2 or 3 years, there has been a tremendous amount of hate leveled at tournament angling for good reason. Now, here is my opinion is what's happened. Number one, and I've talked about this a lot, there are too many tournaments, by far. It's like, ever since I've been fishing tournaments, which has been since the late 1970s, we have seen an explosion of bass tournaments. Even up to like 20 years ago, it's like there simply was not that many bass tournaments. It's like they've sort of exploded after over the past 20 years. It's like you've got tons of different regional and local circuits popping up. You even have more national circuits now. You have tons of buddy tournaments. You got those big bass tournaments. You got the college tournaments. You got high school tournaments that are actually, there's more high school and college tournaments than about any other type of tournament. And you got club tournaments. So you've got, we have got this over saturation of tournaments. And that's one of the reasons that people have this attitude, is because if you're not a tournament fisherman, there's nothing more irritating. You get out there, you've been working all week long, and you go to the lake Saturday morning, and you want to just relax and kick back and, drag a plastic worm out or just have a good time fishing. And you've got these hundreds, sometimes thousands of tournament boats running around like a swarm of bees all over the lake and just cutting you off and making boat wakes and pulling up in front of you. I get it. I understand why the weekend guy that doesn't fish tournaments can't stand tournament anglers, because a lot of tournament anglers are rude as hell. They don't pay attention to what they're doing. They're running balls to the wall all the time. They pull in front of people. There's a lot of bad behavior amongst tournament anglers out there that gives the sport a bad name. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the fact of how many bass the tournaments kill, and they do kill a ton of fish, guys. Don't let anyone tell you they don't. The delayed mortality, the mortality from tournaments, just at the weigh-in, and the delayed mortality is something that does not get talked about enough. It's like there is no reason that we should have weigh-ins anymore. With as many tournaments and as many tournament fishermen, we have got to go to that, catch, weigh, and release on the water, like the MLF does on the Bass Pro Tour. That is the way of the future. That's the quickest thing to neutralize and put out that opposition to tournament fishing as far as killing fish, is to just do away with weigh-ins. Weigh-ins are, and yeah, I grew up with weigh-ins, and that's part of the culture of bass fishing. But we have reached a precipice in the sport where it's unsustainable. And guys, a couple different things here. A lot of the delayed mortality and the mortality within fish tournaments comes within the scheduling of the tournaments. There's no reason ever to have a bass tournament if the water temperature is over like 70 degrees. Because anytime that water's over 70 degrees, you're going to have a lot more mortality. I see it all the time, especially during the summer months. That's one thing. And then another thing that has exasperated the situation is live scope, because live scope has, it's created this new technique in fishing that is traditionally a deeper water technique, offshore deeper water fishing. And a lot of those fish are pulled out of deep water and they suffer from barotrauma. Now, barotrauma is something that does not get talked about enough. Barotrauma is not the same as delayed mortality from like catching a fish deep where, the swim bladder has to be fizzed in order to get that fish to go back down. Barotrauma occurs a lot of times when a fish is brought up too rapidly, and during this process of being brought up out of deep water too rapidly, it causes eye damage, it causes damage to their internal organs, and even if that fish is released on the spot, they'll swim down and they'll die a couple days later, or if they're caught and released in a tournament. That delayed mortality from barotrauma issues that is completely caused by forward-facing sonar and that type of fishing has really increased the amount of fish mortality that we have. So from that standpoint, you can see why a lot of people are angry about that. So what can we do about it? What can tournament angling do to get a better public image and be more responsible? Because, okay, first thing is, guys, we have to get rid of a lot of the tournaments we have. We really have got to, in an ideal world, guys, we should have half the tournaments we do right now. And the only people that can put a stop to this are the state wildlife managers. And they don't. It's almost like you've got a vested interest amongst the lake communities, the Chamber of Commerces around lakes, to bring in as many tournaments as you can. Hell with anything else. We just want as many tournaments to bring in revenue to the community here. We don't care how many lake tournaments are on the lake. And I have not seen any type of effort from whether it be the Lake Patrol or whatever fisheries managers that make those decisions on the lake to curtail it. I was at a tournament 2 years ago down at Table Rock Lake, there were 7 tournaments on a Saturday on one lake, and there was over 1,000 tournament boats on Table Rock Lake. And for whoever allowed that should be fired. That's absolutely irresponsible to have over 1,000 bass boats along with the other recreational boats and weekend people out fishing on one Saturday. It was a completely irresponsible move on whoever was responsible about that. And then let me give you another example about how sort of greed, influences it. Everybody knows about Grand Lake. Grand Lake used to be a great lake before it got completely ruined by big tournaments coming to it all the time. And what happened is, prior to the creation of what is called the Wolf Creek facility at Grand Lake, which is a state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar facility that they built on Grand Lake there, that it's perfect for tournaments. And the Grove Chamber of Commerce and all the people, the city managers, they do anything they can to have as many and as much tournament activity come into the lake. They could care less about the impact that it has to the lake. And that type of behavior destroys a lake. It not only destroys the quality of the fishery, but it creates the animosity that we see from the recreational anglers. So you've got some culprits here. The culprits are the vested interest groups, special interest groups, that want to bring money into the community. And then you've got the tournament organizations that, they want to make their own money by having their tournaments. And until we can have some type of governing agency that regulates the number of tournaments and says to these places like Grove, Oklahoma, no, you're not going to have freaking thousands of boats on the lake and tournaments, we're always going to have this problem. But like I've been saying, guys, for the last couple months, money corrupts everything. And when you have money influencing bass tournaments, in terms of tournament organizers and tournament organizations, they want to have their tournaments to make money. That's their business. And then all the lake managers and everybody that's responsible for, Chamber of Commerce events, they want to bring money into the community. And in the meantime, it's like piss on the bass fishing. The sustainability of the bass fishery takes a back seat to money here. It's all about money. If you look at anything, guys, that's effed up in our country, I don't care if it's politics, business, bass fishing, anything, follow the money. Money corrupts everything. Money is the root of every problem that we have. Greed and ignorance and apathy. So we got a lot of that floating around right now. But the main thing, guys, is if you're one of those anglers that can't stand tournaments, I get it. I understand. I feel like that. I'm there with you a lot of times, even though that I'm part of the problem because I do it, like I'm talking to, but nevertheless, I'm aware of the problem. I mean, if the tournaments were cut in half, everybody would adapt to it. So that's the only thing that we can really do. I mean, like I said, it's a hard decision because when you have people that are making money from something and you got things that are sort of like have not been contested, or there's nobody up there to really hold anybody accountable to what they're doing, that's when you see the issues that we have right now. So we got, it's another thing in a long line of problems that bass fishing has right now. We have a lot of problems in the sport that we can't just ignore. You can't just stick your head in the sand and say, I don't care about that. I just want to go out and enjoy my day on the water. We all have to be involved because ultimately the number one thing on any angler's mind, if you're a responsible citizen, you should say, what can I do to help leave the lake or the bodies of water better than I found it for the next generation? If it's something as simple as like, if you're fishing down a bank and you see a pop can floating 5 foot away from you, don't just troll past it with your boat. Just go over there and pick it up and put it in your boat and throw it away. Something as simple as that. Something that you can do to make the lake and the sustainability of the sport better than you've ever found it before. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it. Shoot me some comments there, and thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later.